shocking turn of events. Laura Lopes, the daughter of Queen Camilla, has just made a huge announcement that's sending shockwaves through the royal family. With her unique position in the heart of the monarchy, Laura's words have the power to make or break royal narratives. And today, she's made a bold statement that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the royal dynamics. What could this announcement mean for the future of the family and Queen Camilla's reign? Join us in this video as we unravel the shocking details behind Laura's revelation and what it means for the royal family. The huge announcement by Queen Camilla's daughter. In a stunning development, Laura Lopes, Queen Camilla's daughter, has openly criticized the royal family, accusing them of placing unbearable pressure on her mother. In her statement, Laura reportedly said, "The constant scrutiny and unrelenting demands of royal life have taken a toll on my mother's health and well-being. It's heartbreaking to see her sacrifice so much for a family and a public that rarely appreciates her efforts." This bold declaration has sent shockwaves through the monarchy, casting doubt on the carefully maintained image of unity and grace Queen Camilla has cultivated over the years. Laura's words have ignited widespread debate about Camilla's role in the royal family and the personal sacrifices she has made to uphold her responsibilities. During a private family gathering, Laura is said to have delivered a scathing critique of the family dynamics, highlighting how the burdens of royal duties have overshadowed her mother's role as a parent. It's clear that the demands placed on her have left little room for her to be the mother she wanted to be, Laura reportedly stated. These remarks reveal the emotional cost of Camilla's royal life and offer a rare glimpse into the struggles behind the polished facade. For Camilla, who has spent decades striving to secure her place in the monarchy, Laura's comments are a significant blow. They not only expose personal frustrations but also challenge the authenticity of her public image. Critics have long accused Camilla of prioritizing ambition over genuine relationships, and Laura's words seem to reinforce these claims. "The person you see in public is not always the person we experience behind closed doors," Laura added, a remark that underscores the dissonance between Camilla's public persona and her private reality. You definitely want to know the aftermath of Laura's statements. Keep watching. The fallout from these revelations has placed the royal family under renewed scrutiny. Camilla's supporters have tried to downplay the comments, but the damage to her reputation may be difficult to repair. As the royal family faces yet another challenge to their image, questions about the emotional costs of royal life continue to swirl. For someone who has long been seen as a resilient and graceful figure, these challenges reveal a more vulnerable side to Queen Camilla's story. Laura's decision to speak out publicly marks a significant shift. Known for staying out of the spotlight, her choice to break her silence suggests a tipping point. She appears to have reached a moment where silence was no longer an option. Her remarks reflect years of frustration over seeing her mother prioritize royal obligations over personal connections. "This isn't just about royal duties. It's about the cost they've had on her as a mother and as a person," Laura said. The irony in Camilla's situation is striking. Despite her efforts to project herself as a devoted mother and relatable royal, Laura's criticisms suggest otherwise. Her comments paint a picture of a woman whose ambitions and public image have sometimes taken precedence over her family. These revelations add a layer of complexity to Camilla's legacy, which she has worked tirelessly to define through charitable endeavors and public appearances. This public confrontation has not only exposed the tensions within the royal family, but also provided a glimpse into the emotional struggles that often remain hidden behind the grandeur of monarchy. However, that's not all. It turns out this isn't the first time Laura has spoken against the royals. Keep watching to know more. Laura Lopes and her rocky relationship with royal traditions. While Laura Lopes, Queen Camilla's daughter, has maintained a relatively low public profile, her past interactions with the royal family have occasionally made headlines. Beyond her bold remarks during her mother's affair with King Charles III, Laura has reportedly clashed with the monarchy over issues ranging from family traditions to media attention. One notable controversy arose during the planning of King Charles and Queen Camilla's wedding in 2005. According to insiders, Laura was said to have expressed frustration with the royal protocol dictating every aspect of the ceremony, from seating arrangements to dress codes. Despite being invited to witness the intimate wedding alongside her brother Tom, Laura reportedly struggled with the excessive formalities. An unnamed source close to the family claimed, Laura felt stifled by the royal traditions. She wanted her mother's wedding to reflect her individuality, but royal customs overshadowed personal preferences. Another point of contention came years later when Laura's own children were involved in Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding in April 2011. Her daughter, Eliza, was one of the flower girls, a role that thrust Laura into the media spotlight once more. Reports at the time suggested that Laura was uneasy about the intense scrutiny her family received during the high-profile event. "She's always been fiercely protective of her children's privacy," a family friend shared, and the idea of them being photographed and dissected by the press was deeply troubling to her. Tensions between Laura and the royal family also flared over her her reluctance to participate in certain royal gatherings. Laura, who values her independence, has often been described as wary of becoming too entwined in the royal fold. Her decision to decline invitations to several key royal events over the years raised eyebrows and reportedly caused friction. This independent streak has not always been well received by senior royals, who view public unity as a cornerstone of the monarchy. Perhaps the most significant source of discord, however, has been Laura's candid opinions about the challenges her mother has faced within the royal family. Her vocal support for Queen Camilla has sometimes placed her at odds with others in the royal circle. One royal commentator noted, "Laura's loyalty to her mother is unwavering, but her directness can be uncomfortable for the royals, who prefer discretion." Keep watching as we unveil the unbreakable BND Laura has with her mom, Queen Camilla. Laura Lopes, the unbreakable bond with Queen Camilla and her role in the royal family. For Laura Lopes, her bond with Queen Camilla runs deep, rooted in years of shared experiences, understanding, and mutual respect. Unlike her brother Tom, who prefers to stay out of the limelight, Laura has often been by her mother's side, playing a prominent role in the royal family's events and public affairs. As a mother of three and a successful art curator, Laura has not only established herself within her own right, but has also continued to maintain an especially close connection with Camilla. Born in 1978 to Camilla and her first husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, Laura was raised in a world that blended privilege with the complexities of royal life. Her childhood was spent in the idyllic Bolehide Manor, a country house in Wiltshire, where she experienced the type of childhood many could only dream of, with its sprawling grounds and extensive amenities. This early experience with privilege, however, didn't stop her from developing a strong sense of self and a desire for her own career. She attended St. Mary's Shaftesbury, a prestigious Catholic girls' boarding school, where she learned to navigate her unique position in life. Despite growing up amid the tumult of her mother's highly publicized relationship with King Charles and the aftermath of the bitter divorce between Charles and Princess Diana, Laura's relationship with her mother remained steadfast. The love triangle that embroiled the royals in scandal seemed to have little impact on the bond Laura shared with her mother. If anything, their relationship grew even closer over the years, with Camilla including Laura and her family in royal events, signaling a deep familial trust. But that's not all. Keep watching to know more. But there is more to it. Keep watching as we dive into the details. Laura's strength was never more apparent than in her relationship with Prince William, whom she would often spar with regarding their parents. According to author Katie Nichols' William and Harry, Behind the Palace Walls, Laura didn't hesitate to confront William when he would blame her mother for the breakup of his parents' marriage. Her direct and passionate responses to William's grievances about Camilla made it clear that Laura would defend her mother at all costs, even if it meant a heated argument. "Your father has ruined my life," she once reportedly retorted, illustrating the fierce protectiveness she felt for her mother. While the public narrative surrounding King Charles III, Princess Diana, and Queen Camilla is one of scandal, betrayal, and heartache, it's the ripple effects on their children, both royal and non-royal, that tell the fuller story of fractured relationships and the lingering shadows of the past. Laura's early interactions with Prince William were fraught with animosity. As children caught in the aftermath of an explosive affair, they each bore the burden of their parents' choices. For William, the suffering endured by his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, was an open wound. He reportedly saw Camilla as the architect of much of this heartbreak, blaming her for her role in the affair that overshadowed Diana's life and led to the eventual dissolution of his parents' marriage. Laura, however, had her own version of the story. In her eyes, Charles was equally, if not more, culpable. She did not hesitate to voice her frustrations, pointing out that his actions had caused irreparable damage to her own family's happiness. However, time has softened those early tensions. In a symbol of reconciliation, Laura's daughter, Eliza, was even chosen to be the flower girl at William and Kate Middleton's wedding in 2011. Laura's role in the royal family, while often quiet compared to her stepbrother Prince William's, is undeniably important. She is seen as the one person who can make Camilla afraid, an intimate insight into the special nature of their relationship. Perhaps it is her ability to speak her mind and her fierce loyalty to her mother that makes her such an influential figure within the royal circle, even if her presence is often understated. Through her marriage to Harry Lopes, an heir to considerable family wealth, Laura's own life remains comfortably outside the public scrutiny her mother faces. But this does not stop her from occasionally making her voice heard on royal matters, as she did when speaking out on her mother's health crisis. In a royal family often overshadowed by scandals and drama, Laura Lopes stands as a testament to the power of family bonds, resilience, and a shared commitment to one another despite the pressures of the public eye. While Laura stays always confronting the norms, you are probably wondering where her brother Tom was in all of this. Stay tuned as we reveal Tom Bowles' standpoint in all of these. Tom Parker Bowles, staying out of the royal drama. While Laura Lopes has chosen to remain in the public eye, embracing her royal connections and making her own mark in the media, her brother, Tom Parker Bowles, has taken a decidedly different route. Known for his culinary career and as the son of Queen Camilla, Tom has largely stayed out of the intense media spotlight that has followed his family, particularly the tumultuous relationship between his stepbrothers, Prince William and Prince Harry. In a rare public comment, Tom revealed how he learned early on to avoid the drama surrounding the royals, especially the bitter rift between his stepbrothers. Tom's decision to distance himself from the public spectacle is rooted in his experiences growing up in the glare of tabloid attention. As the son of Camilla Parker Bowles, who had a notorious affair with the then Prince Charles, Tom's childhood was overshadowed by relentless media intrusion. In a 2023 interview with The Telegraph, he recounted the harrowing moments of his youth, where he and his family were often chased by paparazzi. It was the very height of the tabloid era, Tom explained, reflecting on the chaos that defined his life at the time. His memories of the paparazzi's aggressive tactics, often pushing and jostling for photos, created a sense of unease and fear, leading him to become protective of his mother. The pressures of growing up in a highly publicized family have made Tom uniquely sympathetic to the struggles of his stepbrothers, Princes William and Harry. Having experienced the same invasive media tactics, Tom's empathy is evident when he describes his own experiences as a billionth of what William and Harry endured, particularly with the press's unrelenting scrutiny of their every move. However, despite his sympathy for his stepbrothers, Tom has made it clear that he has no interest in getting involved in their very public feud. "I learned a long time ago not to put my fat fingers into the world of William and Harry," he stated, underscoring his decision to stay out of the drama. While Tom has shown understanding and support for his stepbrothers, his distance from the royal family's internal issues is striking. Unlike Laura, who has embraced her public role and stepped into the royal fold with a more visible presence, Tom has remained relatively private both personally and professionally. His reluctance to engage with the royal drama is further reflected in his low-key stance on royal events. Though he is likely to attend his first royal Christmas at Sandringham in 2023, Tom has admitted that he has never participated in the royal festivities before, citing personal reasons for his absence. His mother, Camilla, has expressed her desire for him to join, especially given the tumultuous years they have all experienced, with family illness and changes adding to the weight of the situation. However, Tom remains unsure about the specifics of the event, joking about his limited knowledge of what the royal Christmas celebration entails, though he did note the essentials: turkey, sprouts, and a dinner jacket. Tom's decision to avoid public involvement in royal dramas speaks to a broader theme of personal choice amidst the royal family's ever-present media storm. His focus has been on his career and personal life, where he has found success as a food critic and cookbook author, gaining recognition for his work without the need for constant public attention. This chapter in the royal family's story highlights a stark contrast in how its members handle their personal and public lives. While Laura Lopes has embraced the spotlight, using it as a platform for her own identity, Tom Parker Bowles has chosen a quieter, more introspective path, opting out of the drama that has defined much of his family's recent history. His story serves as a reminder that not all family members are willing or able to reconcile the demands of public life with personal peace, and his perspective adds a unique layer to the complex narrative of the royal family. In the end, Tom's approach to the royal drama is perhaps the most grounded of all. While the royals navigate the intricacies of their relationships and public duties, Tom Parker Bowles remains an outsider by choice, opting to protect his privacy and avoid becoming a pawn in the media circus that often surrounds his family. However, Tom decided to speak out regarding his mom's recent health crisis. What did he say? Let's find out. Tom Parker Bowles comments on Queen Camilla's recent health crisis. Despite his long-standing desire to remain out of the public eye, Tom Parker Bowles has found himself reluctantly in the spotlight once again. The son of Queen Camilla has never shied away from expressing his thoughts when necessary, and his recent comments about his mother's health have put him at the center of yet another royal narrative. His rare public statement not only addressed concerns about Camilla's recent pneumonia diagnosis, but also hinted at his potentially controversial presence at this year's royal Christmas celebrations. In an interview with the Go-To Food podcast, Tom dismissed the swirling conspiracy about his mother's health, which had been a subject of intense speculation in the media. Camilla, who had been unwell after a royal tour with King Charles, was diagnosed with a chest infection and later pneumonia, leading to several canceled public appearances. "There's no great conspiracy theory or anything," Tom reassured, downplaying the media's exaggerated fears. "She did the tour, and she caught some kind of awful bug," he explained, emphasizing that his mother's recovery was simply a matter of rest and time. "She's tough," he added, underscoring his mother's resilience as she slowly recuperated, hoping that she would be well enough to enjoy the festive season. Tom's comment comes after weeks of heightened concern about Camilla's health, health, especially following her absence from key events such as the United Kingdom's Remembrance Weekend. Buckingham Palace had released a statement in early November confirming her diagnosis and subsequent need for rest. But Tom's reassurances about his mother's recovery were not the only headlines he made. We mentioned earlier that Tom will be attending the Royal Christmas this year. Keep watching as we unveil the details of this event. In addition to discussing her health, Tom revealed that this year he would be attending the Royal Christmas celebrations at Sandringham for the first time ever, after being invited by Camilla herself. "My mum said, I'd love you to come. I haven't had Christmas with you for a long time," Tom shared in an interview with The Telegraph. For someone who has spent the last 15 years spending Christmas in a more low-key manner, often lounging in tracksuit bottoms and watching old films in a pub, it is clear that this royal holiday will be a significant departure from his usual routine. However, what should have been a joyful reunion with his mother is not without its drama. While Camilla's invitation to Tom signals a long-awaited family reunion, his presence at Sandringham has raised tensions within the royal family. Reports from the Daily Beast and Closer suggest that Tom's invitation has the potential to cause a rift, particularly with Prince William and Kate Middleton. Despite the apparent peace between William and his father, King Charles, sources indicate that William has never fully embraced Camilla's role in the family. William doesn't much like Camilla, despite having made peace with his father's choices, one insider noted, hinting at the ongoing tension that still lingers in the family dynamic. The presence of Tom Parker Bowles at Sandringham this year could be the catalyst for a royal Christmas shakeup. According to reports, William and Kate may choose to forgo attending the royal Christmas Day lunch at Sandringham, preferring the more relaxed atmosphere at their own estate, Anmer Hall. This choice, reportedly driven by the discomfort William feels towards Tom's somewhat louche lifestyle, indicates the underlying friction that still exists between some members of the royal family. William's reported reluctance to join the Christmas gathering is not a surprise, as royal sources have suggested that the Prince of Wales feels uneasy about Tom's more laid-back, public-facing persona. This situation casts a shadow over what should be a festive occasion, emphasizing the complexity of family dynamics within the royal household. Tom's decision to attend the royal Christmas is a rare instance where he has been pulled into the heart of royal drama, a stark contrast to his usual desire to keep his distance. However, this speaks to a broader theme that runs through the royal family, an ongoing tug-of-war between personal desires and public duty. Tom's personal stance, characterized by his desire for privacy and avoidance of royal conflict, stands in stark contrast to the rift between William and Harry, and now, potentially, between William and Tom. This chapter in the royal family's ongoing saga highlights how personal and family dynamics continue to shape the public narrative, with Tom Parker Bowles emerging as a figure caught between his desire for privacy and the inevitability of royal obligations. His rare public comments on his mother's health, alongside his upcoming attendance at Royal Christmas, serve as a reminder that even the quietest royal family members cannot always escape the spotlight. In the grand scheme of royal affairs, Tom's situation is a telling example of the challenges that come with being part of such a high-profile family. Whether or not he will face further tensions at Sandringham remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Tom Parker Bowles, despite his attempts to stay out of the drama, will always be entangled in the royal web. What do you think of all these? What do you think of Laura Lope's announcement? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.
In a jaw-dropping revelation that is captivating the world, the royal family has finally broken their silence, exposing a long-buried secret about one of the most iconic figures in modern history, Princess Diana. For decades, rumors swirled about a hidden chapter in Diana's life. But now, the truth has come to light. The family has revealed shocking details surrounding why Princess Diana's role as a sister remained a secret all these years. This revelation changes everything we thought we knew about her life, her legacy, and the complex dynamics within the royal household. Stay with us as we unravel the mystery behind this extraordinary disclosure.
They see me as a threat of some kind, and I'm here to do good. I'm not a destructive person.
Why do they see you as a threat?
I think every strong woman in history has had to walk down a similar path, and I think it's the strength that causes the confusion and the fear. Why is she strong? Where does she get it from? Where is she taking it? Where is she going to use it? Why do the public still support her? When I say public, you're going into an engagement and there's a great many people there.
Princess Diana, often referred to as the People's Princess, lived a life that was as captivating as it was tragic. Born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1st, 1961, into British nobility, her early life was a mixture of privilege and hardship. She was the daughter of John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and Frances Roche, and grew up in the grand settings of the Spencer family estates. Despite this wealth, Diana's childhood was marked by emotional turmoil.
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts. But I don't see myself being queen of this country.
Her parents went through a bitter divorce when she was just a child, and this event had a profound effect on her, instilling a deep sensitivity toward others who had experienced emotional pain. Diana was initially educated at home, but later attended various boarding schools, including the prestigious Westheath Girls' School. Though she wasn't particularly academic, she excelled in music, dance, and sports. After leaving school at 16, she moved to London and worked as a kindergarten teacher's assistant. It was during this period that she began attracting media attention due to her aristocratic background and growing connections to the British royal family. Her life took a dramatic turn when she started dating Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne, in the late 1970s. The relationship was highly scrutinized by the media from the very beginning. Charles, nearly 13 years older than Diana, was under immense pressure to find a suitable bride. Diana, young, beautiful, and from a noble family, seemed like the perfect candidate. Their engagement was announced in February 1981, and from that point on, Diana became a global sensation. On July 29, 1981, Diana married Prince Charles in what was called the wedding of the century.
I don't think many people would want me to be queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently, because I don't go by a rule book, because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that.
The ceremony, held at St. Paul's Cathedral, was watched by over 750 million people worldwide. Diana, only 20 years old at the time, was now officially the Princess of Wales. However, beneath the fairy tale exterior, there were already signs of trouble. Diana's life as a royal was far from the dream many imagined it to be. Almost immediately, she struggled with the intense public scrutiny that came with her new role. The media followed her every move, and she became the most photographed woman in the world. This constant attention took a toll on her mental health. Diana later revealed that she suffered from severe depression, anxiety, and an eating disorder, bulimia, during the early years of her marriage.
But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it.
And do you think that because of the way you behave, that's precluded you effectively from becoming queen?
Yes, well, not precluded me, I wouldn't say that. I just don't think I have as many supporters in that environment than I did.
In a candid 1995 interview with BBC's Martin Bashir, Diana explained how the pressures of royal life contributed to her struggles. She described feeling isolated and unsupported, adding that her bulimia was a symptom of her desire to control something in her life when everything else felt out of control. Another significant strain on Diana's mental health was the state of her marriage. From early on, it became apparent that Charles and Diana were not well suited for each other. The public initially adored the couple, but behind closed doors, their relationship was fraught with tension. A major issue was Charles's long-standing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, whom he had dated before marrying Diana, and with whom he maintained a close bond throughout their marriage. Diana famously remarked in her BBC interview that there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded, referencing Charles's affair with Camilla. Despite these personal challenges, Diana threw herself into her royal duties. She quickly became known for her compassion and her dedication to humanitarian causes. Unlike many members of the royal family, Diana had a natural ability to connect with ordinary people. She was especially known for her work with AIDS patients at a time when the disease was highly stigmatized. In 1987, she made headlines around the world when she shook hands with an AIDS patient without wearing gloves, a gesture that helped dispel the myth that the disease could be spread through casual contact. This moment marked a turning point in public perceptions of both Diana and the disease itself. Another real secret that has fascinated the public is Diana's relationship with the press. While she was often a victim of media harassment, especially by the paparazzi, Diana also understood the power of the media and used it to her advantage. She was known for strategically engaging with the press to shape her public image and further her causes. For instance, her 1995 interview with Martin Bashir, where she spoke candidly about her marriage, mental health, and life within the royal family, was a calculated move. The interview was a turning point in how the public perceived both Diana and the monarchy. Diana also had a deeply protective side when it came to her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Despite her rocky relationship with the royal family, Diana was determined to give her sons as normal a childhood as possible. She often took them on outings away from the royal estates, introducing them to life outside the palace walls. This approach left a lasting impact on both William and Harry, who have since spoken publicly about how their mother's influence shaped their views on charity, mental health, and public service. In the years since her death, Diana's legacy has only grown. She is remembered not only as a style icon and beloved public figure, but also as a trailblazer in humanitarian work. Her sons, William and Harry, have continued many of the causes she championed, particularly her advocacy for mental health awareness and the campaign to ban landmines. Princess Diana's life was a mixture of privilege, pain, triumph, and tragedy. She lived her life under the constant gaze of the public eye, and while she struggled with the immense pressures that came with her role, she also used her platform to make a lasting impact on the world. Her death was a heartbreaking loss, but her legacy as the people's princess endures to this day, inspiring millions around the globe. Princess Diana's life, though marked by both immense joy and profound tragedy, left an indelible mark on the world. Her compassion, resilience, and dedication to humanitarian causes continue to inspire generations. Even after her untimely death, Diana's legacy lives on through her sons and the countless lives she touched. As the people's princess, she remains a symbol of grace, empathy, and strength, forever remembered for her courage in the face of adversity and her unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. In a shocking turn of events, King Charles III has stepped down from his role as the monarch of the British royal family. This unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom and around the world. Camilla, Queen Consort, has reportedly been deeply affected by this development, with sources close to the palace describing her as being in tears. This decision marks a significant moment in British history, altering the future of the monarchy in ways that were previously unimaginable. The announcement came after a series of private meetings within the royal family, leading to the king's official abdication. The news of King Charles III stepping down as the monarch of the British royal family has reverberated across the globe, marking a historic moment in the centuries-old institution. This decision, which has taken many by surprise, was made following a series of private discussions within the royal family. The gravity of the situation is evident, as sources close to Buckingham Palace have revealed that Queen Consort Camilla has been deeply moved by the decision, with reports indicating that she has been brought to tears by the turn of events. King Charles' decision to abdicate has not only shaken the foundations of the monarchy, but has also left the public and royal watchers in a state of disbelief. After years of waiting in the wings, as the heir apparent, Charles ascended to the throne, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. His reign, though short, has been marked by attempts to modernize the monarchy and address the changing dynamics of British society. However, his decision to step down comes as a significant departure from royal tradition, where abdications are rare and often carry considerable implications. In the days leading up to the announcement, there were whispers of tension and uncertainty within the royal household. Insiders have suggested that Charles faced mounting pressure, both from within the family and from external forces, to reconsider his role. The king's health, public opinion, and the future of the monarchy were reportedly central to these discussions. Despite the challenges, many believed that Charles would continue to fulfill his duties as monarch. However, the final decision to abdicate indicates the weight of the considerations he had to bear. Camilla, who has stood by Charles's side for decades, is said to have been particularly affected by the decision. As queen consort, she has faced her own share of public scrutiny and challenges. The prospect of Charles stepping down from the throne has added a personal dimension to the situation, amplifying the emotional toll it has taken on her. Those close to the couple have described Camilla as being visibly distressed, struggling to come to terms with the new reality of their lives. Her tears are a testament to the profound impact this decision has had on those within the royal circle. The implications of King Charles's abdication are vast and complex. For the royal family, it means a sudden shift in the line of succession, with Prince William now poised to take on the role of king sooner than anticipated. This change is likely to have far-reaching consequences for the monarchy, as William's vision for the future may differ significantly from that of his father. The British public, too, is grappling with the news, as they come to terms with the idea of another transition in leadership so soon after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Internationally, the decision has prompted reactions from world leaders and royal families across the globe. The British monarchy has long been a symbol of continuity and stability, and the abdication of a sitting monarch is a rare and significant event. Allies and observers alike are now closely watching the developments in the UK, seeking to understand the motivations behind Charles's decision and what it means for the future of one of the world's most well-known institutions. In the wake of the announcement, the media has been abuzz with speculation and analysis. Commentators are dissecting the potential reasons behind the king's abdication, from personal health concerns to the desire to pave the way for a younger generation of leadership. The role of public opinion cannot be ignored, as Charles's popularity has fluctuated over the years. Some have suggested that the king may have felt that stepping aside was in the best interest of the monarchy, allowing Prince William and his wife, Catherine, to take on more prominent roles. The abdication of King Charles III has thrown the royal family and the nation into a state of reflection and uncertainty. This decision, rooted in a complex mix of personal, familial, and public considerations, is unprecedented in the modern era. While the monarchy has weathered many storms, this particular event signifies a turning point that may redefine the future of the British royal institution. In the weeks leading up to the abdication, there were subtle signs that all was not well within the royal household. Close observers noted a shift in Charles's public demeanor. His appearances, once marked by a sense of duty and tradition, had become more subdued. Behind the palace walls, the weight of the crown seemed to be taking a toll on him. Although no official statements were made at the time, there were whispers of the king grappling with the demands of his role, compounded by concerns over his health and the increasingly complex political landscape in the UK. Reports have surfaced indicating that King Charles sought counsel from his closest advisors, including senior members of the royal family and trusted confidants. The discussions were said to be intense and fraught with emotion, as Charles weighed the responsibilities of his position against the realities of his personal circumstances. It is believed that he considered all possible outcomes, including the impact his decision would have on the monarchy, his family, and the nation. Ultimately, it seems that the king reached the conclusion that stepping down was the most responsible and dignified course of action. For Queen Consort Camilla, this period has been particularly challenging. Known for her resilience and quiet strength, she has always supported Charles through the ups and downs of public life. However, the prospect of him relinquishing the throne has reportedly shaken her deeply. Camilla's emotional response highlights the personal sacrifice and the human aspect of what is often seen as a purely institutional matter. The tears she has shed reflect not just her concern for Charles, but also the enormous changes they now face as a couple, transitioning from the roles they have both prepared for over many years. The royal family, now faced with the task of navigating this transition, is likely to undergo a period of internal realignment. Prince William, who has been steadily preparing for his future role as king, will now have to accelerate his readiness to assume the throne. William's ascension is expected to bring a new energy and direction to the monarchy, one that aligns with the expectations of a modern, diverse Britain. However, this transition will not be without its challenges. William will need to strike a delicate balance between honoring the traditions of the monarchy and embracing the progressive changes that many believe are necessary for its survival in the 21st century. As the nation processes this seismic shift, reactions have been mixed. There is a sense of sadness and nostalgia among those who have supported King Charles throughout his life, recognizing his dedication to his duties and his efforts to address contemporary issues such as climate change and social inequality. Yet, there is also a sense of cautious optimism as people look to the future with Prince William at the helm. The British public, while often critical of the monarchy, also holds a deep respect for its continuity and the symbolic role it plays in national identity. The coming months will be crucial in determining how this transition is received and what it means for the monarchy's relevance in a rapidly changing world. Internationally, King Charles's abdication has sparked a wide array of responses. Royal families across Europe have expressed their support and solidarity, recognizing the difficult decision Charles had to make. The bustling streets of Brick Lane fell silent for a moment as King Charles III stepped out of his sleek black Range Rover. The monarch, known for his reserved demeanor, was about to embark on an unexpected adventure that would set social media ablaze and capture the world's attention. As King Charles walked into the modest Bangladeshi restaurant, Gram Bangla, nobody expected what was to come next. What happened after King Charles walked into this foreign restaurant, and what did he do? Join us as we explore exactly what happened right after. King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla made an unexpected visit to Gram Bangla, a Bangladeshi restaurant on Brick Lane in East London, known for IBT's many curry houses and cultural diversity. On a February afternoon, the royal couple's arrival surprised both the patrons of the Bangladeshi place and the staff working there. King Charles, dressed in his characteristic suit, created a welcoming and approachable atmosphere that was different from what one would expect from royalty of his status. As he interacted with those in the restaurant, the initial shock of his presence quickly wore off among both diners and employees, turning into excitement among everybody present. What happened next would end up captivating the entire nation. King Charles, known for his reserved demeanor, engaged effortlessly with the restaurant staff and patrons. He exchanged pleasantries with the owner, Shams Uddin, who has been serving the community for over 2 decades. The king's actions at the venue showed a genuine interest in the restaurant's history and cuisine. The highlight of the visit came when the king, in a moment of spontaneity, as he approached the counter, had his eyes light up with curiosity. "What's that you're making?" he inquired, gesturing towards a blender in operation. The young server replied, "It's a mango lassi, Your Majesty." Taking an action that was as unplanned as it was surprising, Charles asked if he could try his hand at making one. The restaurant staff, too stunned to do anything but nod, watched as the King of England rolled up his sleeves and stepped behind the counter. The sight of the monarch performing this everyday task struck a chord with onlookers, who captured the moment on their phones. As news of the royal visit spread, social media was quickly flooded with takes and opinions. Videos of King Charles making a mango lassi were being circulated widely, and they were accompanied by popular hashtags. The sight of the king taking part in such a mundane, everyday activity struck a chord with people around the world, as it showed a more personal glimpse of the king than his typical formal appearances would. What began as a brief stop on a tour of East London soon became a viral sensation. The visit to Gram Bangla had somehow revealed a different side of King Charles, one that was approachable, curious, and open to engaging with the many diverse cultures within the UK. People weighing in on this cultural exchange have held that the event came to symbolize a more modern and relatable British monarchy. The King's visit was part of a series of engagements in East London, aimed at shedding light on the area's cultural heritage and the contributions of its immigrant communities. A step beyond this, though, the King's moment at that restaurant went out of the way of what was expected and endeared him to many who learned of the interaction. The Mango Lassie moment in Brick Lane offered a glimpse into the personality of King Charles III, a man whose life has been shaped by duty, tradition, and a desire for relevance in the modern world. Born more than 7 decades back, Charles Philip Arthur George entered a world still recovering from the ravages of World War II. His upbringing was far from ordinary, marked by the weight of royal expectations and the scrutiny of public life. The King's childhood was a blend of privilege and pressure. Educated first by a governess, then at King Charles at Cheam and Gordonstown schools, before going to the Trinity College, Cambridge, he developed a deep appreciation for the arts, nature, and philosophy. These early influences would shape his future interests and causes. Despite the formal nature of his upbringing, those close to Charles have often spoken of his sensitive nature and keen intellect,